Yo, Blayzd.
Yo, what's good, Tone? Get in here.
You trying to burn?
You already late. You already know.
I know, brother. Light that thing up.
I'm with it. So welcome back, everybody. Tone and Blayzd, You Trying to Burn, episode 5, part 2. We appreciate everybody who tapped in and sticking with us on this journey.
I thought you were going to keep going. Yes, we are so blessed.
To keep it
No. So yes, we are so blessed and so thankful for everybody who's been here with us right from the get. And if you were tuning in last week, you know I was picking Blayzd's brain, and we were going through the motions. And Blayzd was telling his story about all the craziness that was going on in Cali during that whole prohibition time, and when things changed. And man, when that last episode ended, bro, I was like, yo, what the hell? Why he ended like that? And I'm the one doing the editing.
All right, Tone. Well, let's get into it, man. You was cooking with the questions last week, so let's give our listeners part 2.
Yo, but hold up. You trying to burn?
Bet.
So how did the community support each other? Because if you guys were able to come together to shut down a whole boulevard and to protest, you know, I'm sure a lot of those people were other dispensary owners and other, you know, activists in the community that really wanted this to happen and to become what it is today.
Right. I mean, that's a great question, man, because in the beginning, it felt like we were all like 1 or 2 degrees of separation, right? Every dispensary, because while we were all competitors in the same market, we were all facing the same struggles, man. And if it wasn't the feds, it was people trying to break in and you know, it was just the wild, wild west at that time, you know, and it's one of the reasons I ended up coming back. But
I've heard plenty of stories of the Wild West. Yeah.
In the beginning, all we felt like we could do was just like get the word out. Like, hey, streets are being blocked. It looks like any dispensary that's up, Santa Monica Boulevard is shut it down, or whatever. It was just kind of word of mouth, and literally we felt helpless. Like that's all we could do. Like shoot that text out, make that call real quick. But then we had an idea, and I'm not sure. It was probably my best friend's idea, if I have to be honest, because he was the cutting edge thinker. And he said, basically every dispensary owner that was within driving range of wherever the raid was happening, nobody fought the raid. Nobody even complained. They come in, break everything, take all the money and leave. And every one of us showed up with something, a product, a pound of flour, some hash or keef, and put them on their shelves and immediately and we helped clean up the glass and opened them up as soon as the feds left, man, and got them back making money right away. Like that's a quick donation right there to try to start recovering and let the patients know, right? Because it really was about the patients. Mm-hmm. You had real cancer victims. You had real AIDS victims. You had real, like, people with real struggles, right? That don't want to be criminals and go into some hood where they could get robbed or, buy
or arrested
or buy, not quality product or worse, something tainted, right? People don't want to live like that just because they have Tourette's, right? Like I don't want to go to the hood and then accidentally curse out a drug dealer and get shot or get locked up. Right. So I felt like that was moving, for all the owners, us included, to just show up with whatever we could and work the place, because employees would leave scared, obviously.
Absolutely. Like raided by the feds, bro. That's a whole different game right there.
Your heart's beating out your chest, and I'll jump behind the counter, man. I was a bud tender at all of our stores, and I had my own following of people that just, wanted to deal with Blayzd, literally would wait. Nope, I'm gonna deal with Blayzd, and it was moving because all I had to do was get the word out, like, yo, I need y'all to come down. Everybody that, usually to come see me at this dispensary, we're helping this dispensary, and then people would just show up in droves.
That's real love,
man.
Right there.
It was. Again, it was more than just like people trying to sell bud, What's crazy is that you had a percentage of people that you could tell were maybe like street dealers or whatever that thought that this was going to be like some easy come up for them to just have a store. Man, they weed themselves out so quick, because they're trying to make 300% profit. They're being aggressive, with their numbers, and anybody that questions it, they would just eventually fold, man.
They didn't have that customer service.
Right. They didn't,
that
they
quality
didn't,
sales
when it's about the patient, patient comes back. When you can think long term, right? And then you build them up. And that's what me and my business partner do at that time. Because we were struggling getting ours open because of these, Fed raids and whatnot. We started going out and help basically partner up with good dispensaries that were failing. Right? Any day from shutting the door, we would step in and we would basically breathe life into it, and then if they made us a partnership, and that's how we were able to sort of thrive at that time. And we helped a whole bunch of different, shop get back up and running the way it should be, seeing 300-400 patients a day. And then, the biggest thing I think we did though was, back then, people wanted $80 for an eighth of exotics, man, which is ridiculous. And I get it. The plant is, respectfully should be expensive, right? What it takes to grow it. Me and him, we opened up the first store in the state, and I think in the country, to be honest. It was back in 2008. Everything, top-notch kush down to chronic, $45 an eighth, everything. And we started moving.
Kill the game right there.
I mean, we couldn't keep, like, we had to send people disappointed at the end of the night because we got to close. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, we can't see nobody else. To people just waiting there for hours, like a concert tickets was about to go on sale. And
store open at 8. People got their chairs at 7:30.
I'm not lying, man.
Got their coffee, their chair, reading a book, just waiting,
laughing it up, making friends. And it was always like, mind blowing and sort of like, moving in a sense that like, this can't be a bad thing. To see this many people happy, right, for what we're doing and bringing, to the table, which to us didn't seem much. We're providing a safe pathway for the things that we love, right? The plant that we love that helped us in so many ways, right? Mm-hmm. Me and Pat are both very intense people, right? And that herb helped to even keel both of us. Otherwise, we'd have killed each other, right? Anyway, so,
that's true friendship right there.
Oh, brotherhood, man. That's my brother. And, it was that journey and seeing that and learning and just how that felt and seeing how many people were truly, actually impacted positively, by what we were doing. It changed me, man. That changed me as a person, like literally changed me. I would say that I lived a bit more selfishly prior to that. I was still in my 20s back then, still trying to get, pry my head out of my ass, you know what I mean? But I knew I wanted to help people, and I hated seeing people struggle.
You had actually touched something on that I think is very interesting, right? When you mentioned a safe passage for those customers or patients, really, not customers, because those people are patients. That safe passage, did that also translate for you as the owner? Like, how did you guys go about securing the product, securing the money? Because that in itself is its own problems.
Right.
Plus the fact that you have to worry about the feds raiding on you.
Right.
And the banks not accepting deposits at that time. So cash becomes a serious problem. People don't think about the problem that
Tone,
large amounts of cash can bring, but it's a problem of transportation. It's a problem of storing. It's
logistics
a problem of distribution.
Are a problem. Right. Tone, you're cooking right now with these questions, bro, because you nailed it. Now here we are having success, the tax man coming. You know what I mean? So you got to pay the taxes, right? You got to have your licensing. You got to have everything. All the paperwork got to be in order. Banks weren't allowing us to make deposits, so we couldn't get a payroll company. So everybody's like under the table paying cash, but we're paying taxes, right? Think about that. I'm sleeping at a Best Western or a Hyatt or a Hilton because I can't get an apartment because I got no pay stubs. All I got is a proof of a storefront and proof that you paid taxes, right? Like, which some people would accept that, right? But I found myself as like a boarder, man, renting rooms from people. A lot of times they were patients, like stepping up, like, yo, I heard you talking about your situation. We got an extra room, you can rent. And thank God, because $2,800 a month, in 2008, while that was a long time ago, still hurt, when I'm working a nonprofit organization, right? Like, you're allowed to take a paycheck, but you're not allowed to swim in money. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you got to pay yourself as handsomely as you can, right? So that you can pay your own bills, but you also got to pay your employees, and everybody's getting paid cash, but the tax man's still coming. It was brutal, man. There were times we had to answer your question directly, there wasn't a safe passage for us. We provided a safe passage while we put ourselves at risk more and more each day, not only to the feds, but to the stick up kids or the cartels that close to Mexico. You're messing with cartel money, man.
Absolutely.
Right. And unknowingly, right. You go there with an innocent mind that want to help people. And here you are stepping on toes that you damn sure never wanted to step on. We had to hire mercenaries to be the guard at the door. We had to take different routes home. There were times we had to bring all the medicine and all the money home every night. I'll never wish that level of stress on anybody. And again, these are more of the reasons I call it the Wild Wild West, and more of the reasons I had to give it a break. My living situation, trying to find an apartment or a house, a moot point. It wasn't happening, right? I flew home the whole time, still paying my rent, man. And honestly, man, when I got home, Jersey's like quicksand, right? Like, if you leave and come back, you're kind of stuck unless you like really, 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 really set the world on fire, which is what we're doing right now. Tone.
I love it.
You know what I'm saying?
I love it. Yep.
But it was that was the struggle for me, man. And I felt bad because a lot of people I felt were blessed by what we were doing. And I felt like there were so many, want to take advantage of the situation. It wasn't whole and pure yet. You know what I mean? And I felt like we were making it better to say, we were whole and pure, but we were good guys looking out for the good guys, and that's what we were trying to do. And make a difference and not get walked on. But it was crazy. My buddy stayed and he opened up, I think, a few more chains. And one of his other business partners, somebody that's a friend of mine, New Jersey Weed Man. I'm sure our listeners have heard of him. I'm sure everybody's heard of him on the East Coast at least. Right?
And if you haven't, look him up.
Right. So, he went on to do business with my best friend after I came back to Jersey. And, in the coming weeks, we're looking to have him on as a guest with us. And I wanted to talk to him a little bit about that because there's a whole chunk of experience that I missed just after I came back home, when Weed Man went back out. And they got together and opened up, a couple more things. And now he's back here doing big things out here. So we're going to have him on in a couple of weeks, pen some questions. And anybody listening, you got some questions, about my experience, my California journey, I call it weed college. You know what I mean? I did a few
Weediversary.
Right. A few semesters in weed college, came back, a connoisseur, an educated man, came back, wearing an ascot, smoking a weed pipe.
Damn, an ascot. Now that's fancy as hell. What? And you went straight to the ascot?
I'm joking. I wouldn't look good in the ascot, but definitely when we have him on as one of the special guests that we mentioned one of our previous episodes, looking to secure that date and have him on the episode as a special guest because we're trying to burn with New Jersey Weed Man, right? That's going to be one of our first guest episodes of who we're trying to burn with, right?
And if y'all don't know what that email is, it's youtryingtoburn@gmail.com.
Absolutely. And don't forget to hit up our YouTube, we're on TikTok
on
now.
TikTok, on Instagram, on Patreon.
Right. youtryingtoburn.com/ whatever they are.
All of them.
Right.
All the socials.
If you Google it, it's going to start popping up. I'm sure you'll see it right now. Anyway, so that was just that's like the beginning of the journey, even though it ended with me coming back home, there was a lot of meat in the middle, man. So
Yeah,
that's how I learned,
So, what's crazy, right? How things were back then and how things are today.
Right.
Right. So the experience that people are going through today is nothing like that.
All right, Tone, hold up. We're going to stop it right there. We got too much content for y'all. So we're going to drop the rest of the interview in part 3. So make sure you hit us up next Wednesday, 4:20 in the morning for episode 6, part 3. And don't forget to hit us up on our socials. You Trying to Burn everywhere. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Gmail. We want to hear from y'all. Forget, if you're trying to throw something on the cipher, hit up that Patreon. Thank you for tapping in. We love y'all.
Peace.